Hello everyone, welcome back to Too Much Tech, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing this controller that I have from Hex Gaming. This is the Xbox version of this controller. It obviously will work with Xbox One, One X, Series S, and Series X. Why Microsoft named them that, I'm not entirely sure. I actually don't have the new consoles myself. I have an Xbox Series X, but I primarily use this on PC. So that's what most of my experience is going to be on. Obviously, it's an Xbox One controller, like all the functions, whatnot works. The mic, this whatever port that nobody ever really uses. And it does have micro USB, just like a regular Xbox controller, because that's what it's based on. But I do wish that Microsoft would update to USB Type-C. Sony did. So Microsoft, you're next. But not necessarily in regards to this controller, because obviously they're just modifying the ones that Microsoft has. And this one I think is an incredible value for what it is. And it's really easy to use, other than maybe swapping the paddles and whatnot, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about the unboxing experience. So I think the box actually looks really clean. It's got a controller, just so that you can easily take off the thumbsticks, and then the two paddles, or buttons I should say, that are on the back of the controller. The Hex Blade tactical gaming controller for Xbox One and PC, designed for esports through Hex Gaming, blah blah blah. I will leave Hex Gaming's link in the description below, because they did send this controller out to me a couple, no, 2-3 months ago, I want to say, in January, and it's pretty clean. They do give you a few different thumbsticks in the box. So they give you a domed medium, a domed long, a concaved long, and a regular thumbstick. And then obviously you have the ones that come on the controller, two remappable buttons on the back, and the trigger control mechanism. Basically you have trigger stops. So really nice, I would say. The controller, the feel in the hand is pretty premium. But let's check out this carrying case that they give you as well, because this is not a bad value at all. So you have the quick start guide right here, which is just going to show you, how to use the controller and whatnot. And then on the back, obviously, you have your rear button setup that we'll get into in just a bit. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about that right now. It is also really nice as well that they give you a 6-month warranty for defects with the controller. But if you have any issues, I would just hit them up on social networks. And then you just have these little storage compartments, very similar to an Elite controller, for your additional thumbsticks and whatnot. And taking off the thumbsticks is really easy. You just pull it off, and then you just have to line it back up to put it back on. And that's it. Super duper easy. Personally, I have been using the two convex thumbsticks, the shorter ones. I wish that there was a medium length thumbstick that came in the box that was convex. That would be perfect for aiming for me, because this does feel a tad short. But otherwise, I think it's fine, and it is decently grippy as well. I would say it's a bit more grippy than the thumbsticks that Microsoft uses on their controllers. Okay, getting down to the controller. So the controller obviously is extremely comfortable. Some of the options that I selected myself, because they did allow me to customize the controller myself, I just went with the black back buttons, and then this white back here. The side grip, I believe, only comes in black if you want this kind of texture, but I think that it looks pretty cool. And then the best thing about this controller is the different faceplates that you can get. Now these, you can't really swap them out. You just got to pick it when you decide to get your controller. But these faceplates are really cool, and they do have theme controllers as well that you can pick from. But I would just customize my own personally. I like this little swirl that they got going on. I just think it looks really cool and very novel. In terms of the performance and whatnot, you do have trigger stops here. So you do have a full trigger press. You switch that down, and now you've got a half trigger press, which I think is very useful for shooters. 3-step trigger stops I don't really think are fully necessary. 2 steps I think are fine. It's nice to just have it, but if you did have one additional step, what I found on some controllers that usually have those multi-stage trigger stops, sometimes it just comes off, and then it doesn't even it's not that it doesn't work, but if you hit it too hard, sometimes they just get disengaged. So I feel like the one level of trigger stop is fine. Now in terms of the batteries and whatnot, it's not rechargeable, or at least I didn't opt for the rechargeable battery pack. This is more of an Xbox issue. Battery life, just however long your AA batteries are going to last. So performance wise, the thumbsticks are extremely smooth. I would say that these are comparable to the Power 8 controller that I reviewed a while ago, which those I like quite a bit. Those are extremely smooth. This is very similar. Maybe if I had to quantify it, 10% slower-ish, but I mean, you know, controlling it wise is perfectly fine. I do think that these thumbsticks are very good, very grippy as well. D-pad is just normal, you know, it's just a regular D-pad from an Xbox controller, just recolored, but it is fairly tactile. Controller does feature Bluetooth. I usually just play wired, but otherwise it's a very, very good and premium feeling elite style controller for the Xbox platform. And this is also now probably going to be my favorite controller to use as far as having controllers on Windows. Reason being, I just really enjoy the placement of these back paddles here. Like, this is just so easy and natural to hit quickly, and it doesn't really you know, take much effort to actuate it, and there's no weird placement that your thumb has to basically learn like you do with a scuff. Like, having a scuff, you kind of got to learn like a weird placement to use these back paddles, but using this Hex gaming controller, it's very easy. Like, it's very natural, nothing that you have to relearn. Your hands just naturally rest right where those buttons are, and I feel like that's the most important thing. If you're going to be using a pro controller, it should feel 100% natural to use. So if you're looking for the most natural feeling pro controller for the Xbox platform, I will look no further than this. And also this thing is extremely customizable. Like, I mean, seriously, it's like insane. So right now we are on Hex Gaming's website, and you know, you can view all the available controllers that they have, but personally I will go right to making my own. But I mean, looks like they got a sale going on right now where some are between $35-ish to $45 off, which is very good. I mean, that's pretty insane. And then also they do have PlayStation controllers available as well, but I believe these are for PS4. The case honestly for me looks a little strange, so I don't really know if I would check out a PlayStation controller from them. And obviously the PS4 controllers are good, and you can use them on PS5, but more or less you're only going to be using it on PS4 games. So like, if the game is not PS4 compatible, your controller doesn't work on PS5, which kind of sucks, and I wish that Sony would change it, but I'm pretty sure they aren't going to, because obviously they want to sell their new controllers. So I hope that Hex Gaming is going to get PlayStation PS5 controllers in soon that are also just as customizable. As we can see, they are indeed planning on it as well. So for you PlayStation guys, be sure to stay tuned, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming out with something, and I will probably review it when it comes. But back to the topic at hand, the Blade controller. So you can make your own. We're going to click that, and I mean, look at just how many different faceplates there are. Is this? I don't think that's the one that I picked. Let's see here. I got this Origin of Chaos. This one looks so clean to me. I absolutely knew that I had to have it when I seen it. I mean, you know, you got a blood splatter, weeds, you know, if that's your thing, you know, whatever, dude. They got a couple of them. There are a couple of, if you're a cannabis enthusiast, you know, they got you covered. Then they got chrome cyan. That's kind of clean, that chrome cyan, chrome silver. Okay, you know, it just depends on what you're into. Clear, even if, you know, if you're after the Game Boy retro vibes. Oh, they got this what is this, like a translucent, where it's not exactly as transparent. That's kind of clean. D-pad, they got a ton of different options. I believe I went for the matte white, and then they got some chrome options as well. ABXY, you know, they just have a ton of different options in all of the different categories, different base colors and whatnot for your thumbsticks. RB buttons you can change as well. You can get a little wild with them. Even the buttons on the back, you can also change the color of these too. So I mean, it's pretty cool. I think that, you know, like by the time you kit one of these all the way out, you know, you get up to about that $200 price point. I think it's a pretty fair deal. I mean, right now, I mean, this controller looks pretty insane, and we haven't like added anything functionally to the controller. You know, we could have went with the bare bones controller for $140, which is pretty nuts. But, you know, once we start to customize it, add on a few of those things, it's only like, you know, 40, maybe 50 bucks max if you're really pushing it. But I don't even think it let me go up that high. I mean, it really only added like an extra like 35 bucks, and we had a pretty fully kitted custom controller. Hex Gaming, I don't know, guys, that's a really good deal. You know, Scuff is very easy to go $200 plus. I think that this is a very good and fair price for at least an Xbox controller. I'm curious what the pricing is going to be on the PlayStation 5 controllers. You know, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bit more. If it's similarly priced to this, I would say it's incredibly fair. Even topping out at about $200, I think that's pretty decent. You know, spending $200 on the controller, especially like after I'm kind of past the whole controller phase at the moment, it's just a little much for me. $150, $170 is quite a lot, but at the same time, you got the Elite 2 controller, which is pricey as heck. but this is a lot more customizable. So I don't know. But for now, this controller is definitely my favorite. Huge shout out to Hex Gaming for sending this out as well. If you guys are interested in it for yourself, I will have Hex Gaming linked in the description below so you guys can check them out. But that is going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoy, feel free to drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel as well. And thank you again for watching. Join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. I will see you guys in the next one.